Okay, these are the Vevor rolling mills. I had bought one back in November 10th of 2022. And when it came in, the whole body of it was painted green, much as the new one is. However, and it had guards identical to those on it. And one of the first things I noticed upon starting to handle the machine was that every edge on it was like just super sharp 90 degrees. Everywhere you touched, it would just rubbing your hand on it, working with a piece of meal, it would just take the skin off and cut you. The guards, these are like fine needles. You just touch these and they go right in. And on the previous guard, they were also like that. At every one of these weld points, working around the guard was more dangerous than working around the exposed gears. So I removed the guards off of it. I took the time to hand file all the edges, made them round, painted that back up black so I could work around it in a safe manner. This is my first rolling mill. As I was unfamiliar with rolling mills, I didn't know what they're supposed to feel like when you use them or anything. I've only put about 6 ounces of silver through this thing in the time, and for the first year and a bit I hadn't even gotten to use it because I bought a rolling mill and then I had to buy the tools, the torches to heat the silver, the pliers, all the handling equipment, the files, the chisels, the acid for pickling, and bit by bit I slowly built up a complete setup for jewelry, for making jewelry, and once I started using it, it became apparent. And it's from Vevor. This is a replacement one that just came in from Vevor, purchased. None of this stuff is sponsored, as you can tell by the, and like I bought a lot of stuff from Vevor. Like that's a 60 kilo anvil. I got a 23-foot bell tent. I got milking machines. I've got milk cans. I've got all kinds of automotive tools. The list, I've got like probably 60 some orders of multiple items at this point. And a lot of Vevor stuff I bought off of Amazon as well as from their site, depending on, sometimes sales were better, different places. But when I started using this, what I found is it was very, very hard to turn. I haven't even tried turning that one. Still got the plastic protector on it. That's the new one that came in. But with this one here, it was very hard to crank. And I used to do powerlifting. There's not much stuff I say is hard to crank. But what I found, once it got to the point where it would not turn at all, and literally it wouldn't crank at all. So I took it all apart to figure out what was going on. Was that this roller, the upper roller of the two, right here on this portion of it, is extremely rough. This is hardened steel. This was not done. This came like this. It was a factory defect. The other side, perfectly smooth, polished the way it should be. The lower roller, once again, if it'll focus, perfectly smooth, exactly like it should be, both sides. But the upper one is a very defective roller. The hardened steel on it, like you hit that with a file. I've tried to just hand filing, it won't even budge it. This isn't something that happened after. That was something in the manufacturing where they messed up. And the gears, and this has only had 6 ounces of silver through it. The gears here, you can see the large amount of wear just from forcing on that to turn it. So there was a lot of problems. But I'd barely used it. It sat unused for the majority of the time. I finally started using it, so I contacted Vevor to find out, hey, I know it's past, it doesn't say any warranty where I bought it. It doesn't say 1 year or 2 years. There's no written description of how long the warranty is. Is there any warranty on this item? It was bought November 10th, 2022, and it sat unused until I had all the other tools, which took me a couple years to afford and build up. And when I started using it, this thing just failed right away. One of the more expensive parts of my setup. Anyway, we went back and forth with them a number of times, and they refused to make any kind of offer for repair or anything. Those go like that, and so no. And I was asking, are there even parts available? Can I buy a replacement roller? And this is the bushing that thing's pushed down on. This one has a bolt that comes down, and these bushings right up in there, pushing it up and down. And it has cut through this on the one side. So it's right to the point where it was rubbing on the steel frame. You can see the other side versus this one, the whole side is just cut away. And that's why at last it wouldn't turn. This is a softer material, and that rough defective roller was cutting through it. That's why it was hard to turn, but I just thought that's the way they turned. But once it got to the point where it was going through the steel frame, it wouldn't roll anymore. So Vevor won't sell replacement blocks. They won't sell replacement rollers. There's no service for it at all, and there's no kind of warranty or help in that respect, because I've owned it over a year, even though it sat unused for the first, majority of that. And then less than 6 ounces of silver rolled, and it cut right through this block. There's undamaged, that's the side with the smooth roller, and even the other side, because the rollers, as it cut through the side of this one, have been getting twisted. These rollers will have bushings will have been worn out unevenly instead of just rolling on them, because the whole thing was twisting in it. It was getting really difficult. But my daughter and some of my children and friends of the family who I was making some jewelry for as gifts, they have gifted me with another roller. They knew I needed one, and the picture of this was the same online as the picture I'd bought this one for originally, and there's a lot of differences. Even though the picture still shows the old style roller mill, this one, all the edges are a little bit rounded. They don't have that sharp, take your skin off every time you touch them. The guards are just as bad as the original guards, but the original guards, the brackets for them were all welded on, and I literally had to use a grinder to cut off the welds, and then I cleaned it all up, all the spots where they used to be, with files, and then sanding it, and then I had black paint, so I just painted it black. But another thing that they've changed is this one has these U-bolts of threaded rod that pull up and down the roller, which sits against the bushings, which this one cut through. So it's this is literally just pushing on the underside of the roller, this threaded rod. Whereas now they have a fully captive bushing that sits top and bottom. Much nicer, much better quality. This roller, I haven't used it yet, but you can turn it and there's no drag. So the problem with the other one, the badly machined parts, and you can see the shaft here, it's smooth on all of them. So they have changed the bottom retainer as well. The other one was just a flat washer with a hole. Now they got like a giant circ clip with 2 Alums through it. The whole body, like I said, is very similar, but this is way thicker material. And the other thing is, they got rid of all the welds. The whole frame on the other one was welded. So when they were welding on them to make the frames, you put the steel plates in a jig, it holds everything in place, and then you go along welding it. If you're not careful, things warp, and they're a little... Like welding, if you're not being careful, you can twist things, and I don't know what the quality control is like where these were made. But now, the whole chassis of this thing is held together with Allen head bolts, like you see on much more expensive machines online. the whole bottom, you'll see the plates. It's the same thing. The quality appears to be way better. One example of that is your depth or thickness adjustment here. Nice and tight on this new one. This is a precision piece. This one has always been loose and wobbly like this, and you know, it can twist around. The quality on this one was always kind of iffy. Also, this one is just pressed in on the shaft. Sits loosely. This one is snug, and on the bottom there are some tack welds, so this one will not be as prone to, I didn't have any problem with the other one, but maybe somebody did. They've improved that. Anyway, I'll put it back on later. But the guards, they're too dangerous to leave on the machine. The machining of the gears is definitely, these ones are a machined gear. You can see the lines. These are just a light cast one, so that's much better gears on them. The top adjustment is better. The bushing is now a captive bushing versus a half moon bushing dragged around by a piece of threaded rod. The handle was a cast handle. The new one is made out of a piece of flat bar, and it's a bit smaller. My hands are quite large, and this handle is a nice size for them. This handle, well, I'll probably try and use the old handle on it. But once again, you can really see that bushing style on this side better. This one did come in damaged. If you look at this corner, the bottom plate is bent. So somebody dropped this, a delivery guy or something. But I will just take out those things, throw it on my anvil, whack it with a hammer and straighten that plate out, then reassemble it. That's not going to bother with a warranty claim on that. But the box, the bottom part of the box, the top styrofoam, the bottom was crushed, and you can see on the box this is the corner that was damaged on the machine, so it got dropped on that corner in shipping, and the machine was just wrapped in a plastic bag inside of that. But just be wary. The Vevor stuff, I've been buying it. I've had a few warranty issues now. Like a 23-foot bell tent where once the snow load went on it set up 4 season camping, but the center pole collapsed and the entrance pole under a snow load. This thing sat for a while, failed when used, and then because an arbitrary time limit had gone by, they canceled or didn't provide any warranty or access to replacement parts. We've had a number of items we've bought where there's been warranty issues and it's worked out good. And one issue that we had was like one item, it said lot of 2, so we bought 2 stainless steel sinks. What came in was a box with 1, and then we had to go back and forth with them for a long time to get that sorted out. Sometimes the descriptions aren't the best. Sometimes when it says there's 2 in a package, it's only 1. Sometimes the quality just isn't there, and if it sits for a while before you use it, you might not know about it. Like this roller mill was ridiculously cheap as far as the roller mills I could find online were. Back in November of 2022 we paid $219 for it, and the new one was pretty much the same price now, and that's Canadian dollars. They were both offered with free shipping. After taxes it was like $246.39 to get them in Manitoba with our taxes. But I couldn't afford to look at a rolling mill or a jewelry setup with other brands. But if you're going to, my recommendation with Vevor is there's some buyer beware. If you're going to buy something, buy it when you're going to use it. If you're going to buy some stuff, build up a tool set to do something, don't go with the Vevor. Buy something that'll have warranty when you start using it, or buy it and immediately put it through its paces to find out what the problems are. But do not buy this brand ahead of time. The the quality though in 2 years time, and the pictures online are still for the ones with these. You can still see the angle iron on it, you can still see the welded frames. They don't yet show them with the bolted together chassis and the full one-piece bushing. So they're clearly improving the quality on the newer products. It's easy to see the progression here, but just for the price, it's good. And you know, we're talking now machined gears versus cast gears. These guards to protect you are going to draw a lot of blood if you try leaving them on. It's just every time you bump this thing, it's going to find a new way to hurt you. But I'm glad to see that the machine no longer has all the sharp edges the first generation had, because this one, it was unusable. You just, the moment you were moving around it, you had to be dabbing up the blood. But anyway, I hope this is helpful. The quality, like the machine surfaces are good, other than this one was a defective in the manufacturing process, and I didn't know enough to identify it when I had warranty. So when I've had to deal with them and stuff's under warranty, it goes well, but after the fact, not so much. So lack of warranty parts after a year, no customer service to speak of after a year. They just keep saying it's not available. Anyway, I hope this helps somebody. Thank you.